Hi, welcome to Truth with Tal and Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Coach Rob in the house. Special guest with Coach Rob.
Welcome, Coach Rob.
Thanks for coming to the show, Coach.
Happy to be here. Thrilled to be here.
Good agenda today. We're going to talk about Miguel Cabrera's last game as a Tiger, some huge NBA trades, the Detroit Lions, and obviously our special guest, Coach Rob, has some Coach Rob content.
Coach Rob content. Let's open with who is Coach Rob. You hear lots of stories
We've
of
talked
Coach
about
Rob
him for a long time.
He is one of my best friends. So Coach Rob, I guess you should go to YouTube. This is one that you should be on YouTube for.
You should be on YouTube.
Because there's three of us in a very small surface area as we are still working on the studio. So Coach Rob, give the folks your origin story.
Okay, so I am the original member of Team Tal Nation. The 1980s, we went to high school together. And then, I don't know if you remember this, we took a university class together as well.
We did.
I think it was communications.
I think so.
And then you were gone. You disappeared for a while. And then in 2001, we both had girls who coincidentally are now best friends. Chloe and Alex took a swim class together. And we saw you at the pool.
Yep.
And then you were gone again. And then in 2012, you signed Isaac up for Little League. And I became Coach Rob to Isaac. He became my favorite player. He quickly showed athleticism, but raw baseball skills. And we worked hard to get him to throw the ball properly, and we're still working on it.
Yeah, I still can't throw the ball right.
But if he got on first, he was on third in 2 pitches.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Coach.
scored a lot of runs, played some great defense. He was a tremendous team player. He was, in fact, our captain.
Thanks. I don't even know if I got a C ever. But that's cool.
No, it was
We should write a C
yeah.
on the shirt.
And so we had a lot of fun. And these kids, they played Little League till they were 20 years old. That's how much fun we were having. And we kept getting new kids, right? We got the Allsops a couple years ago. That was a tremendous addition. We got the Malloys this year. And you and Brett and Eric and Alex, you just played forever.
Yeah, we just kept recruiting guys. Coach Rob just built a dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
And the NIL money was just flowing through, so we had such a good crew, and it was a pleasure playing with Coach Rob. And then Coach Rob, we just became best friends through like Die Hard and baseball, I think, would be the main two.
Yep.
And now Coach Rob's my guy. And he is an honorary Team Isaac member, even though his roots are with Team Tal. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I think we can fairly say that he is a charter member of Team Isaac.
There's not a lot. We're still accepting applications. It's really easy to get on Team Isaac, so anyone is welcome. Coach Rob, thanks for coming on the show today.
I am the president of both fan clubs. It's a lot of work,
Very good.
but it's
This is a lot
rewarding.
of work.
It's rewarding.
Okay, as we transition from one legend to another, we're going to talk about Miguel Cabrera. So we were all at the game yesterday. We're taping on Monday. The game was Sunday. Like literally one of the all-time greats, no doubt Hall of Famer. Gentlemen, thoughts on yesterday and Miggy?
Coach Rob, you were with Miggy longer than I was, so you can start it off.
He has been in the major leagues your entire life, which is incredible. So we went to the game yesterday. He tried really hard to get a hit. They would not throw him a strike. He came up in the 7th inning and he got 4 straight balls. And my thought is the pitcher was from the Dominican. They don't much care for the Venezuelans. I don't think he wanted to give him a strike. So I booed loudly.
Guardians, Big L.
Yeah, I booed loudly. It didn't seem to help. And I thought it was really sad that, double play and he walked off the field. And what a way to end a great career. But then props to A.J. Hinch for coming up with the idea of, well, let's put him out at first base. And baseball, the ball finds everybody, right? If the ball finds you, first batter, ground ball to first, and the place went nuts. And it was a moment.
It was perfect.
It was cool to be there. So I saw 23 games this summer.
Wow.
23 for the average price is a pretty low number.
Single digits.
Thanks to the Tigers. Look, like he got traded to the Tigers in 2008. Every Tigers game I've ever been to was with Miggy. Baseball is synonymous with Miggy for me. Like it's just baseball and Tigers and Miggy. That's all I know. So like it's going to be a change. It's kind of like when those quarterbacks left the NFL, right? Like when Brady retired and the Mannings and Breeze. Like that's just all I knew. And Miggy is all I know for the Tigers. So it really is end of an era. He was never my favorite player. There's a lot of 24 Cabreras at the ballpark, always. And there's not a lot of teams have a Cabrera, was kind of my take. There's not a lot of guys that have been with the team for 15 years, was just beloved. And Dad, I'll let you go about Miggy for a bit.
So a couple of stats. We could go all day for stats, but 300 average, 500 home runs, 3,000 hits. It's Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Miggy.
That's
like
incredible.
that's unbelievable company.
Yeah.
right? He had the Triple Crown in 2012. The last guy to have the Triple Crown, Coach Rob, this is an easy one.
Yaz.
Yaz, 1967.
So in our entire lives, it had never happened.
No, never.
And I know that, RBIs and batting average aren't what they once were. It's more OPS and on base. But still, 50 years, my entire life, it's the only guy that's done it. So that was quite the moment. That's probably the highlight for me.
Yeah, I need to give the Tigers some credit. This was actually a difficult last couple of years, but I think they did well honoring Miggy. They put him out as often as they needed to kind of give him some respect. I don't know, how many at-bats did he get this year? Did he get 400?
I didn't count.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
But he played probably 2 of every 3 games.
Yeah.
He actually had a much better average than I thought. Power numbers were down low, but the power numbers really haven't been very good for 4 years.
Let's not talk about the negatives.
Yeah.
Nope,
Okay.
no negative stuff here.
Here's my Miggy moment, for sure, and it's probably Coach Rob's too. Seeing his 500th home run in Toronto.
I was there. Were you there?
Yeah, were you there?
Were you there?
I was not there.
Oh.
We got super lucky. I planned this
Yes.
Toronto trip.
We got very lucky.
And we happened to see Miggy's 500th. I saw his final hit on Saturday. I was there Saturday. He didn't get a hit on Sunday. So I saw his 500th home run, his final hit, his final game on Sunday. Like lots of cool Miggy moments. And I think we're still going to see him. We're still going to see him in the dugout in the clubhouse. I think he's still going to be involved. But he's going to enjoy his time off, and he had a really nice contract. And I'm happy for him, and he's the man. Anything else?
So, a couple things. Last home run ever hit in Montreal. That's cool. But,
Ooh, did not know. That's a great stat.
For me, the highlights are the at-bat against Rivera when he hit the home run. Although they did
on
lose,
one leg.
Yeah, they did lose that game in 10 innings. And I was also a big fan of the time he started a fight with Austin Romine. That was fun. Because anytime you can fight with the Yankees, I'm
That's
right there.
true. Yeah.
So, yes, those are my Miggy highlights. We're going to miss him. New age. We got torque. We got torque bombs every other night. Hopefully we got green.
Carp. My
wife
Scooby,
loves Austin
we got
Meadows.
Some guys.
Yeah, she loves the way Meadows runs in the outfield.
Probably
Parker, probably.
What'd I say?
Austin.
That's his brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
No bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on the Tigers here? This is enough Tiger talk.
I just need to talk about the atmosphere at the ballpark yesterday was awesome. And honestly, I saved my voice until about the 8th inning when Nelly from one section over decided we're going to try and start the wave.
But you yell at the wrong moment. You don't yell to start the wave. You yell for Miggy and for Erod's 7 beautiful innings.
It was great, wasn't it?
I yelled a decent amount. I clapped, but a little bit. But
Just
I really
foolish.
let it go.
Purely
Trying to
foolish,
hit the wave.
not calculated.
Yeah, it was not.
Like if
a
you're
good
going to a
decision on my
Lions,
part.
if you're going to a Lions game, it's warranted. But if you're going to start the wave in a meaningless game, not even for Miggy, that's just poor and it's just not calculated.
I was pretty emotional about the whole thing. I just got caught up.
You were
in the
not.
emotions.
No.
I was.
Okay, sure.
I
All
always
right.
took a picture of me crying.
Okay, all right. Well, I didn't know you were a big Miggy guy. That's a new development
Well,
for the show. Stop. Okay. Anything else on
It's
Miggy?
an epic career. That's it.
It was awesome. Ballpark was great.
Yes.
The best I've seen it, other than I don't know. Opening day is always something. But it was really cool to see a sold out Comerica for one of the first times I can remember.
It was.
So that was cool. Should we talk about the blockbuster trade in the NBA?
Absolutely.
I've got a couple more off the tops.
Sure.
So, could Michigan be the best college football team in the country?
They could.
A lot of people have them should be one after Georgia almost lost, but I don't really care. I'm just November 25th, Ohio State game day. That's all I got.
Lions watch party last Thursday. Awesome. I'm not sure who to thank for that.
Thank Amadeo, my boy, for setting up another great watch party.
Dale, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. What else?
Appreciate the boys. That's it for off the top because you took everything else away.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
My editor, I don't think the co-host should be the show editor.
So we've got a big show. We've got my best friend Coach Rob in studio, and you just write paragraphs of nonsense like you're having an episode, just an own episode, and I have to delete a lot of that stuff. Last one I'll throw in. I'm going to San Francisco next week. Coach Rob, did I tell you this?
No.
I am. Niners, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football.
Wow.
Yeah, don't have tickets, but I'll probably get in.
When do you leave?
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll there'll probably be some good content there if I make it back.
I would think so.
Yeah, going to Alcatraz.
Who are you going with?
My buddy Braden, fan of the show Braden. So
All right.
producer
Shout out
Braden.
Braden.
Yeah, so it should be a good time. Hopefully we'll make it back. And I'll text you guys from Alcatraz.
Sweet.
So that's what I got there.
Cool beans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now talk about the trade.
NBA trade. Wow. Here's the thing about most, at least the 4 majors. Always lots of chatter, lots of rumors, but it usually doesn't translate to real big trades. The last 5 days, we've had 2 enormous trades, landscape shifting trades. Coach Rob is a huge Bucks fan. why don't we just go ahead and jump right into it? What's your thought on the trade in terms of how it helped the Bucks?
So
maybe someone should lay out what the trade is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Me?
Cracker. Yep.
Okay. Bucks got Damian Lillard. The Suns got Nurkic, Little, Keon Johnson, and Thug Grayson Allen. The Blazers got Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, a 29 first, and 2 swaps. And we'll talk about the Holiday aspect of this in a bit. Coach Rob, Bucks fan, you can kick things off.
So I wasn't a Bucks fan before Giannis got there. Giannis drew me to the team. Started watching him, started paying attention to the team. Realized, man, there's some great people here. Lopez, Middleton, everybody loves Bobby, right? We love Bobby Portis. So, big Bucks fan. I took Brett to a game in 2019, and then, of course, they won the title in 2021. I don't know if you know this, but Giannis scored 50 in the championship game.
And he did almost all of his free throws.
And, he made all his free throws.
Awesome.
So, yes, I'm a big Bucks guy. And then the word came out this summer that he might want to leave, and I was kind of sad. Didn't know what I would do. I guess it really depended where he went, because some teams I just don't like. So the Bucks felt they were put in a corner. They had to do something, so they made this trade. And losing Jrue sucks because he is fantastic. He's the second best player on an NBA championship team, and he's gone. They get.
So you're saying he's better than Scottie Pippen?
No,
that's not what he's saying.
Just a team in general.
I'm just trying to throw Scottie under the bus.
No, yes, okay. So they get Dame, who's fantastic, but he's a defensive liability. Can score. They are not better than they were. Last year they were the best team in the league. They won 58 games. They might win 50 this year, but they don't care. This is about the playoffs, right? So 2 things this trade did: it made them better for the playoffs. When you were able to roll Dame and Giannis, who's going to stop that? Pick and rolls, they're going to be great. You know what else this trade did? It stopped Dame from going to Miami, which was going to be a problem in the East.
That's true. Yep.
When the trade happened, I sent Isaac a text, and he's like, "I have no words," and I said, "I have 3 words. Let's effing go." Those are my 3 words. He was not happy. We didn't talk for a few days after that.
There's a reason why we're recording like 4 days after the trade, because I was not ready to talk about it for probably 3 of those days.
I still don't think he's ready to talk about Miami.
I'm only going to talk about the Heat side of things. Do you have any more on the Bucks side of things?
No, that's...
So you're a little pessimistic.
Yeah, they're not as good, but I think they'll be better in the playoffs. And the downside to this is the next trade. So
we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Dad, I'll let you go on the Dame trade.
Okay, so I think Coach Rob did a good job summarizing the Bucks. Who's their 5th starter, Crowder or Malik Beasley?
Crowder?
I don't know. That's a big team.
Yeah.
And Crowder's not looked good. I like Beasley.
Interesting.
I like it might be Connaughton. They said they like Connaughton.
They do.
I don't know.
Might be
That's not really an issue for me right now.
Blazers, listen, they got a good haul for Dame, especially because their hand was held to the fire. Lots of future, like, amazingly, they, I think, decided on their turnaround about 5 months ago. They said, okay, we're going to cash our chips in and see how quickly we can rebuild. Well, they just about rebuilt. Like, I give them a lot of credit. They're not going to make the playoffs this year, but
I give the Blazers 0 credit. 0. Joe Cronin? Can I like?
Okay, actually, I had that down. What's that? Because that's sus.
Okay, it is sus. So I was devastated about this trade. The Heat lost out on Dame, Giannis, and Jrue Holiday in a couple days out of nowhere. Because the Dame to Miami thing, obviously, I was pretty confident in. And then if that wasn't happening, I'm like, okay, there's been Giannis Miami rumors a few years ago when they broke him in the bubble in 2020, when they built that wall. And then remember when Jimmy broke him again last year?
I remember that.
Yes. I think Jimmy scored 56 on Drew's head. Regardless, look, I was ready for Dame to be Heat, to be next to Jimmy. The hero, Jovic, 3 firsts, 1 swap, multiple seconds, and one of Lowry or Robinson, I think was there. I think the Blazers had that offer. There's lots of differing reports and guys not really reporting the way they should be. Apparently, the Blazers has little to no interest in engaging with the Heat. That's kind of what the consensus
I
is.
heard they haven't spoken since July.
Yep, and obviously, look, that's on old man Pat. Like, I understand that. He's got to wake up from his naps, and he's got to make some calls. But it sounds like the Blazers asked for Jimmy and Bam, one of the two, per Shams. That was the headline.
Really?
Yep. Did you read that? Like, this is real. The Blazers asked for one of Jimmy or Bam. So that's just not, like, I understand, like, that's just a joke. Cronin chose, I think he took a worse return Yes, the Jrue Holiday trade, they got a lot back for. The Blazers did. But this damaged the long-term relationship with Dame. Just to spite Miami, chose his ego over the franchise. I do not think he handled this well at the time. I don't.
You don't think Cronin did?
No, I do not think he handled it well at all. And I'll tell you why. Dame said, Miami, I'm going to come back and play with you guys. I don't know if you... This was like in the official report. So Dame said, I want Miami. If you don't trade to Miami, I'm going to come back. I want to report. And I'm going to play as you work to get a Miami trade. And you know what Cronin and Portland said? They said no. So Dame kept showing up to the facility starting on the 11th. This is in the legit full report from Shams. Cronin did not address Dame once while he was in the facility. Like, I think this is 8 times, they said. The Blazers told Dame's agent the Toronto trade is just about done. Apparently it was just about done. And then to avoid that, Dame and his team said, okay, Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Send us to Milwaukee or Brooklyn if you're not going to do Miami. And then I don't think Brooklyn ever got super close from my understanding. But it sounds like Toronto was right there. And then the Cronin took the Bucks offer. And I just don't understand. I don't think that this return was better than the Hero, Jovic, 3 firsts, and Lowry. What do you guys... Am I being biased here, or is that fair to say?
I think you're a little biased. Honestly, in totality, because you do have to include Holiday as part of this. The Holiday return is part of it.
But Hero would have gotten flipped for a similar return as to what Jrue got.
I don't think Holiday is getting the same return.
So I do.
I think Holiday is getting a better return than Hero.
I don't think that Portland wanted anything to do with Hero, and I think the mistake was not bringing in a third team.
That's where it sounded like.
Yes.
Brooklyn was going to be the third team. Look, Jrue, I love. He's 33. He's got 2 years left on his contract. Then he turns 35. 35-year-old point guards usually don't play a ton and don't get a ton of money. Kyle Lowry kind of looking at you. Chris Paul, those guys. Look, Jimmy, since he went to Miami in 2019, I'll name some guys. There's something in common. Dame, D-Mitch, Beal, Chris Paul, Levine, Harden twice, Kyrie like 4 times. These are all guys that the
all
Heat,
stars that got traded.
That either got traded or were very closely linked to the Heat. And how many did Pat Riley get? He got none of them. He has gotten nobody since
he got
Jimmy's
Duncan
been
Robinson.
there. Look, Jimmy still took his team to the finals twice as much as Boston did in that span, so I think that's cool. But did you guys see Jimmy at Media Day? I'll let you discuss this because I'm sure you guys saw it.
I did see Jimmy at Media Day. I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
Is this a Barbie Oppenheimer thing? I don't get it.
He said this is his Halloween, so he was dressed for the show, and he said what he said. Dame's the same age as Jrue, right? They're both 33.
Correct.
I think Dame's got more years though.
And
That's
I
the
think
difference.
Jrue will have some extended life playing the 2 guard instead of the 1 guard, right? I think he's better suited for that. So I think he'll be around for 4 more years. He's going to play out his 2 years. The Boston will probably sign him tomorrow.
I think they'll have to. I think that trade went through, and with that down, let's talk about the Jrue Holiday to the Boston Celtics trade. This trade maybe even made me sadder because of how much I hate Boston.
So Boston has the best top 6 in the league.
Oh, yeah.
Undisputed.
Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, Al Horford. That could
that's amazing.
With Jrue, that could be their starting 5.
And here's the thing: in 2020 bubble, when they got beaten down by the Heat, Tatum and Brown are the only 2 players left on Boston from that team. But they are big and they're deep. Now there's some risks there.
They're not deep.
Sorry, they're not. Yeah. Their 6 is spectacular. Porzingis is like his feet are made of peanut brittle.
Yes.
And eventually, Al Horford will show his age. I don't
did last
know
year.
Eventually, yes.
when
he
that's he did a little bit last year, but not as much.
He lost his legs in the playoffs last year. That's a fact.
So it's going to be interesting to see again. Best wings and guards, obviously, but I don't know how they're going to match up in the playoffs. Like.
The day the trade had happened, I thought Milwaukee's going to the finals, and now I think Boston's going to the finals.
Just play this out for a second. Boston is afraid of Miami, and Boston cannot match up with Philly.
Oh, dude, Philly's not... Respectfully to Philly...
I think Philly's terrible, but Embiid
done.
is going to dunk on the entire city of Boston.
Embiid's going to get pissed off in 2 months, and then we're just going to see Knicks jersey swaps for 4 months. That's the Philly situation.
I mean, the 2 people that I have L's are the Heat and the Sixers, right? Because all these trades hurt those 2 teams more than anybody else.
I don't think... I was never... you're the Bucks guy. Were you ever afraid of Philly in the slightest?
No.
I'm not. Look, I think now's a good time for Embiid and Jimmy to play again.
To be fair, I wasn't afraid of Miami either.
You weren't. Yes, you and I didn't think you should have been. to wrap up the Miami bit here, like the Heat lost out on, like I said, Giannis, Dame, Holiday. This offseason, they didn't get Beal. They lost 2 starters. Hero's pissed off. Jimmy is definitely pissed off. This was a tough week for me and Jimmy. This was hard for us. We've talked a bit. It wasn't easy.
Are you going to do the hair and lip ring like Jimmy as
No,
well?
but I talked to Jimmy, and I just wanted a trade demand. That's all I want. Send him to OKC. Let me cheer for the Thunder. I'm all in, because I understand he can't go to Denver. That the cap is too hard there. But go to the Thunder. If the Pelicans weren't a disaster, I'd say the Pelicans. But this is tough. Look,
Can somebody explain to me what the Suns were doing?
Oh, okay. We can talk about that angle.
Please
go
do.
ahead.
I can't. I don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Does anyone here think highly of Ayton? Because clearly Joe Cronin did. And I don't think anybody else in the NBA wanted Ayton right now for that because he's got one of the worst contracts in basketball, undisputed. Look, and then the Suns angle here, they got Nurkic, who's like one of the worst defenders in basketball, and then they got like a couple rotation guys, maybe
Low rotation guys.
and they got a bunch of rotation guys. They just signed all these guys to like the veterans minimum. Like they signed like Eric Gordon, Bates Diop. They signed a lot of decent guys. So the depth really wasn't an issue. It was kind of defense. So they just downgraded Ayton, and I don't think Ayton is a ton better than Nurkic. He is certainly defensively. The Suns angle is weird. I'm not really scared of the Suns. Like
I'm not scared of the Suns either.
Like I don't.
The whole trade thing was weird. So Harden doesn't count. Who's the next starter that says, okay, trade me?
I'm hoping Jimmy.
It might be.
I don't know because there's a bunch of names floating around out there.
It'll likely be Embiid.
It might be Embiid.
I think that's kind of what it's looking like. Again, Philly or like does Harden count? Because Harden's kind of wanted to
Harden
trade.
doesn't count.
No. Harden's wanted to trade for 4 years.
He'll get traded, and then 2 weeks after that, he'll say trade me.
Yeah, I got nothing else here other than like, man, the Celtics Bucks Eastern Conference Finals is going to be a treat. There's going to be a lot of bad blood.
I can't wait.
That's going to be
a
gong show.
I will be rooting for Milwaukee heavy. I'm not a Boston guy. I do like this trade a lot for Boston, right? Like they just got Marcus Smart. If he was awesome, that's what Jrue Holiday is. Yeah. Is just an elevated Marcus Smart.
Agreed.
They gave up Brogdon, who kind of had negative value at this point. Rob Will, who's on a great contract and he's solid, but like you got the big man depth now.
Injury prone.
And he gave up a couple firsts. I like this trade for Boston. I think we all do. I'll just put it on Coach Rob because he's the Bucks guy. Bucks Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. Who is coming out and how many games?
Boston.
Really?
I agree with you.
5, maybe 6.
I agree with you.
Oh, crap.
Shout out to Uncle Phil, right? That's his team.
Yep.
So we're just going to get Boston versus Denver, and because it's impossible to win back-to-back, Denver's going to lose and Boston's going to beat Denver.
No, Denver will win again.
Oh, you got Denver back-to-back?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I love it.
I think people are forgetting how much of a freak Jokic is.
Yes. I mean, I saw him play. I've been to 2 games in the last 5 years. One was to see Giannis, one was to see Jokic, and he was unstoppable. Unfortunately for them, for only 44 minutes because he couldn't make a bucket in the last 4. But he was unstoppable, and I was like, this guy's amazing. And that's when I started following Denver.
So I saw a funny clip. They were interviewing Jamal Murray and say, tell me a funny Jokic story. They were playing Denver when Gobert was on the Nuggets, and Jokic had already put up 47.
Gobert was on the Nuggets?
No. So, who did Gobert? No, sorry, the Jazz.
The Jazz.
Yes. Anyway, Gobert's guarding Jokic. And then he's telling everybody, no, I got him, trying to guard Jokic man on man. And Jokic said, brother, I already have 47. Like just real calm, real quiet. And he's going to put up 47. He's not going to break a sweat. He's not going to dunk.
Nope.
He's just going to make magic happen. I still think Denver is going to need to pick up a piece at some point during the season, a bit of wing depth.
Jimmy? Wing depth, Jimmy? How about it?
I'm not sure Jimmy wants to be depth on a team.
No, but like we're starting. It's KCP and all the picks you can do.
It'll be interesting.
I don't think Denver can repeat. It's just so hard to repeat.
It is.
Like if you look at the teams that have repeated, right? Like KD Warriors repeated, and then before that might have been the Heat, right? The super team Heat.
But what they all had in common is they had the best player in the game.
Correct.
If you have the best player in the game, you might be able to repeat.
It's a wild card. Yeah.
Good job, Coach Rob. Okay, I've got nothing else. These trades were great for basketball. This is really good for the NBA.
Especially because today's media day. So it's go time.
And the bright side is Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee, I think, for a while.
I would hope so.
My dream is Dame and what I hope, because obviously the Pistons aren't contending. I understand that. Dame and Giannis win a couple chips, and then Giannis.
No, again, you don't have. If you make these trades, you want one championship.
I'm saying what I want.
Yeah.
I want Giannis and Dame to win a couple chips. Giannis to retire early, so we're early enough where we can be like, if he stayed healthy, is he gonna be, or if he stayed playing, is he top 10 ever? And he's gonna be close to that, I think, if he gets another ring. It's fair to say. But I wouldn't mind Bucks Nuggets in the finals for the next 8 years. Also fine with that.
All right. Speaking of finals and first place and playoffs, that leads right into the first place Detroit Lions. That's so much fun to say. The Lions are 3-1. They're in first place in the North. Chicago might be relegated to the Big Ten.
They might be.
Minnesota, they might be able to play in the SEC.
No, I think they're 0-4. Or no, sorry, they're 1-3 now.
1-3.
Yeah.
In Green Bay, I don't know. We're obviously going to talk a lot about the Green Bay and the Lions game. This is super interesting. Obviously, line of scrimmage completely dominated by the Detroit Lions. But I'd like to hear Coach Rob's take on the game on Thursday night.
So I was worried. I was impressed with Jordan Love in the first 3 weeks, and I thought, oh no, they've done it again, right? They went from Favre to Rodgers to Love, and this is going to suck. But he did not look prepared for the first half. He's played better in the second half, but I'm feeling a little better about Jordan Love, and maybe not.
He's more Don Mikowski.
Maybe. Well, no, he's going to be better than that. But it was just great to see them, like you said, control the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. Hutch is a beast. And they hold him all the time, and he still gets pressure. The secondary's playing better than we expected. I love the linebackers that they drafted. I know people like you, Isaac, last episode, were ripping on Anzalone. My buddy Mike, shout out Mike Hawkins, does not like Anzalone. Every time he makes a play, I text him Anzalone with exclamation marks. I like Anzalone. He's the heart and soul of the team. So,
dude. He's not the heart and soul of the team. That's big
he's
man.
High energy. He's running all over the place.
He's better than I thought.
He's noticeable because of his hair.
I don't think he's better than I thought. Like, unless you thought he was going to be the worst linebacker in football. Like,
I thought Campbell was going to relegate him to the bench.
Dan Campbell? No, I didn't. Look,
Jack, the
draft pick.
If anybody, it'd be Derek Barnes. Yeah. He's maybe been their best linebacker.
Derek Barnes has been solid too.
Yep. And Campbell.
I've got a lot of names written down that you want to touch on. We'll talk about Hutch here for a bit.
Sure.
So we had 8 pressures, sack and a half, 21% win rate, which is like kind of
crazy
elite territory. Probably Pro Bowl bid you're looking at realistically for Hutch. The first name I've written down is Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is my favorite Lion. 0 pressures on 31 pass snaps, 2 pressures all year. He's probably going to be all pro.
Yep.
Right tackle.
One running play, I don't know if you remember it. He blocked his guy. And then he kind of rotated his butt and blocked another guy.
It was on the goal line, right?
Yeah. It was one of Montgomery's touchdowns.
He did have 2 holding penalties recently, but which is unusual for him.
Yeah,
they were sus. They were sus penalties.
They were.
One was sus, one was a real hold.
Well, do you want to talk about David Montgomery?
Yeah, so Isaac is really low on David Montgomery.
Not really low. I'm just like, kind of on David Montgomery.
The guy with 5 touchdowns?
Yep. That guy.
Yep.
Okay.
On 34 touches. Most of which came when the game was decided, which is kind of when I want to see Jahmyr Gibbs. Now we can discuss that. Look, the Lions are 3-1, so I don't want to complain. But 34 touches for an older or not young running back, when you've got Gibbs just kind of sitting there waiting to get in. I think kind of someone should have told Campbell, like, hey, like, you know, Monty's got 26 carries tonight, right? And that's when you probably put Gibbs in. How about Sam Laporta? Because Sam Laporta makes me happy. I'll let you guys talk about Sam Laporta. Coach Rob, go ahead.
So, the real MVP of this team is Brad Holmes, right? He has pulled every string has been proper. He was the one that decided I'm going to trade Hawkinson.
He's just sprinkling pixie dust on everything.
I'm going to trade Hawkinson and not have to give him that second contract, that big contract that's going to eat up space. And I'm going to draft Sam Laporta in the second round. And Sam Laporta is just as good as TJ Hawkinson. I know he's got a lot to learn still. It's his first year. But he's producing at Hawkinson's rate. And, God, everybody loves him.
Am I allowed to say he makes some Travis Kelce plays?
Not yet. You can. Bill Simmons said he's like Gronk, so yeah, you can say that.
And Gronk, I saw Gronk on TV today saying great things about him too.
Good.
So his instincts are great. He said he catches the ball on the run. We have ourselves possibly an all-timer here.
See, I mean, here's the thing: like Detroit has historically not been a very good team, so they don't get a lot of national media attention. But because now they're getting lots of hype, guys like Laporta are getting some national attention, which is great. Penei Sewell.
Well, Penei Sewell doesn't get much media attention because he is a right tackle. And it's basically just Lions fans that kind of talk about that and super football nerds. Sam Laporta, have you guys seen like the stats, like the all-time numbers he's putting up? Like,
great.
22 catches in the first 4 games. It's the most ever. That's the most ever for a rookie tight end. 242 yards, second most ever to what rookie tight end in 1961?
Mike Ditka.
And Mike.
Like, he's putting up ridiculous numbers, and he looks awesome. Like, it's not just like he's putting up numbers and he looks fine. He looks really, really good. I like, it's stupid to say, but I think he's better than Hawkinson right now. Is that fair?
I agree.
It is.
And he's like 1/15th of the price, maybe more, probably less.
Yeah.
So Sam Laporta, fantastic. We'll talk about everyone's favorite Brian Branch. Dad, you can go ahead on Brian Branch.
So obviously everybody watching the game on Thursday night, their breath was held. Listen, whenever you see somebody going off on a cart,
Yeah.
the first instinct is, oh my gosh, hopefully it's only 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Was it 40 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was
to
40
60
minutes.
Yeah.
So we got lucky there. Thank you very much. Brian Branch is an impact player. Again, somebody who's getting a fair amount of media attention.
Yep.
Hopefully, like, rookie of the year contention. 10-day rest before playing Carolina is big. Please, guys, just avoid the trap game. It's Admiral Akbar. It's not a trap. Play Carolina. Punish them. Little Bryce Young in his little Pee-wee car. Step on his neck. Beat him. Come on.
I have no
he might
issue.
not even play.
I think he will. I wouldn't mind seeing Red Rifle Andy Dalton one more time. Brian Branch, like the week before the Green Bay game, Branch had one of the best defensive games you'll see a guy have.
Yeah.
And he didn't even get Defensive Player of the Week. That was Hutchinson. Not Lions Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
The NFC's Defensive Player of the Week. It went to Hutch. Totally could have went to Branch. He was awesome again this week. The mouth guard thing is cool. I rock with
It is
it.
pretty cool.
I think we're going to see some 32 Branch jerseys around Ford Field in the next few years.
I would think so.
More so than Gibbs. Go ahead.
Speaking of jerseys, I don't know why the Lions aren't selling number 89 MCDC jerseys. Who wouldn't buy an MCDC jersey?
Well, you see the goofy customized jerseys, and then I've seen Dan Campbell jerseys.
Have you?
Yeah, like when he played like that
Yeah,
jersey.
that's what I'm talking about. But
Okay, I
that
rock
was his
with it.
number 89, but let's go MCDC on the back.
I think I've talked about if I'm getting Lions jersey, it's Sewell. But I don't like getting current. I just like my 1989 Barry Sanders jersey, and that's enough because it's just cool now.
I just texted Mike on Thursday night that I'm getting a Laporta jersey. So
Nice. Good.
I'm
Okay.
not because I don't wear jerseys, but if I was going to, that's what I would get right now.
Do you have any more on the Lions? Tal, you're itching to say something.
I do have to. I have a question for the panel. What role does JMO play on this team over the next, we'll call it 4 to 6 weeks?
It's interesting to see because he gets to come back now. He gets to come back Monday or today. He's back with practice.
Yeah.
I think it'll be just like last year, right? He'll only have a few plays initially, and he'll just try to take the top off. They'll throw him deep a few times, but that's just another weapon, right? And another speed weapon. I think he'll come in slowly. You think that they're not giving Gibbs the ball enough. People are probably going to complain. They're not giving Williams the ball enough, but I think it's going to come slow. But it's just going to make them better.
Isaac?
Yeah, we'll see what we saw last year, where it's like, why is he only in this much? I don't think he's going to be on special teams. I don't think he'll be a gunner like he was last year. Yeah, like it's going to be limited. They'll ease him back, especially versus Carolina. But man, if he can just be like a little something to this team, let alone live up to his potential where he got drafted.
Yeah.
Like if he lives up to that potential,
Good Lord.
Crazy.
we're saying the S word respectfully.
So,
Yeah.
well, see, I have a question about that. I don't like talking about the S word. They haven't won a playoff game since 1991, and they haven't had a playoff game since that game at home. So those are things we're focused on, right? Let's worry about winning the division.
Coach, I agree with you.
Let's worry about winning a playoff game. But my concern, that's not my concern, but my question to you is, if things go the way they're going and they win the division, they could be the 2 seed or they could be the 3 seed or they could be the 4 seed. They're not going to be the 1 seed. That's San Francisco.
Yeah.
If they're the 2 seed, they get a bye. That's great. But then they're going to host Philadelphia or Dallas.
Yep.
I'd rather they be a 3 or 4, get that first home game against a wild card team.
Seattle.
And win it. Right? Let's get that win out of the way. You can't talk about winning the Super Bowl until you've actually won a playoff game. So that's my goal for this year,
Coach,
is a playoff win.
Completely agree. At the beginning of the season, we said we want a playoff win. We want a home playoff game, and we want a playoff win. 1991 was a long time ago. Let's get that W.
I'll go. So I'm still mad at Seattle for ruining that game for me. That expensive game that I went to.
Lots of money. That's $20 American.
Here's what I want. I like what you said, Coach. Let's take the 3 seed. Let's host the 6 seed Seahawks. Wild card round 1. Maybe a Saturday night game. I want Seattle again in our house.
Okay.
With ski masks. We're not losing to Seattle three times in 2 years.
Yep, I agree with you there.
Give me Seattle in the wild card.
Yeah.
round. That's what I want.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay. I have nothing else on the Lions other than I am very optimistic, but I need to stay grounded and smart here and not be foolish.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
So now we do have some good time for Coach Rob to just bring us some Coach Rob topics. So what this means is I have no idea what he has written down, nor does my dad. He's just going to talk about some stuff, and we're going to see where it goes, and hopefully it's appropriate. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to know if I need help or if I'm a normal sports fan. But I have a lot of grudges, and I have a lot of sports hate. I know this show is about peace, love, inclusivity.
Yeah.
But I hate a lot of people and a lot of things.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's normal or not.
So
but
go ahead.
So this kind of came up because last year in the playoffs time, I was telling Isaac how much I hate the Miami Heat. And he's like, what? Why? And I said, to be honest, I don't know. I don't remember why. They must have done something. So there's a lot of that. But I can tell you that my top 4 hate includes the New York Yankees. And that goes all the way back to the Bucky Dent game in 1978. Look it up, kids.
Yep.
Ohio State for many reasons, including Urban Meyer. My God, he said Michigan might lose to Nebraska on Saturday.
I didn't see that.
I hate the Philadelphia Flyers for a bunch of reasons. But my one that's off the board that people think I'm crazy, I cannot stand the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League. When I was about 9 years old, my dad took me to a Spitfire game, and they brawled before the game. Like, the police had to come break it up. It was
awesome.
And I don't even like the city of London, right? When Chloe applied to Western, I'm like, you can't go there. Same with you. I wrote this guy a letter to get into Western, and he got in, but thank God he didn't go.
Yeah.
So do you guys hate? Like, is it wrong for me to hate? Should I just live and let live? Or
Dad has more experience hating than I do.
So historically, I've tried not to cheer against teams. Sports, to me, is an unbelievably great outlet for cool, fun things to happen. However, there is still some hate. Right? Larry Bird stole the ball of the Boston Celtics.
He did.
That's hate. That's never going to go away. Ohio State, just the trashy way they do things. They busted one of my Michigan flags in my car at a Michigan game. I think you know the story.
Really?
Coach Rob, you don't know. So I old Ford Bronco had a Michigan flag in the window, and I'm walking in my car, and a cop says, "Is that your car?" I said, "Yes, sir." Well, Ohio State fan broke the flag, so I asked him for $15 and the broken flag, and $15 is tossed in your side window.
Wow.
Because you could prop the window open on those old cars. So, not that I need more reasons to hate Ohio State, but that summed it up. Colorado and Claude Lemieux.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a hate.
That's a good
there.
one. Yeah.
So again, I don't have a lot of hate. I don't cheer against many teams, but there's 3 examples off the top of my head. There's hate. There's hate there.
I bet the Yankees under total this year of 96.5 just so I could root against them every night with money on the line, and it paid off. Good job, Yankees.
I hate some teams. I don't know how it took this long to say the Dallas Cowboys I hate. And my reason is different than your reason. My reason is the 2014 playoff game. This is the only Lions playoff game of my life.
Yes.
And I remember it so well. I remember everything about that
It was
game.
pass interference.
I remember where we watched and what happened, so I hate the Cowboys.
I've never seen them mark off the penalty and then change their mind.
Nope.
I've never seen a wide receiver come on the field when his defense is on the field without a helmet to yell at the referee and not get penalized for it.
Yeah, what would happen? So I'm not going to get into that. That's going to make me sad. So I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Packers. And it's because they've owned me for 20 years.
Yes.
So there's no shame in saying that.
Well, they don't anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's why I hate Aaron Rodgers. So that hate is connected. Those are the 2 for football. For basketball, it's the Celtics. Some of it's from watching Bad Boys documentaries. Some of it's from the media and the Tatum love. Some of it is
because they're so racist.
Yeah, that's the Boston hate. Some of it's because they make brilliant moves, like getting Jrue Holiday for nothing. And Danny Ainge is like one of the smartest basketball guys out there. So a lot of it's hate because they're awesome and so well run, other than Ime Udoka. So that would be for basketball. Baseball, I guess the Yankees. That's like an easy one to say. And then Ohio State, I hope to see them lose November 25th in the Big House. That's what I got.
See, I hate Michael Jordan and the Bulls because I'm a Bad Boys Piston for life. And I know that doesn't age well, especially because part of that hate came from him keeping Isaiah off the Dream Team. But then as time went on, it was probably justified. So, but I still didn't watch that show you tried to get me to watch.
What was that? That was a good. The Last Dance.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's
I
good.
think it's worth a watch.
I'll watch that if you watch Winning Time about the Lakers on.
Yeah, I'm not watching Winning Time. Sorry. Okay, so that was the hate there. That's a good question. There is some hate. Go ahead. What else you got?
I got a question for Tal. If I could get Novak Djokovic to come to Windsor, would he stand a chance against you playing Prison Rules?
So Prison Rules is the made-up game that me and my buddies play at 6 o'clock in the morning. We don't serve. We just start with a rally, hit, go. If I played Novak Djokovic, we play to 11. 5 games of prison rules to 11.
Yep.
I maybe win 1 point. So he wins 11-0, 11-0,
But it's-
11-0, 11-1.
But it's going to be dark.
11-0.
It's going to be early. He's still
Still,
going to be on Serbian time.
He could beat me with a frying pan.
Oh, that's good. Does he get to stretch or warm up? Is he right off the plane?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're getting off the plane right from the Windsor Airport. It's just 5 minutes to the tennis court. Maybe it'd be a little wet.
I'll take Tal money line.
So the line is 1.5.
Yeah, you can win 2 points. He'll double fault on one of them.
No, we don't double fault. You just start the rally.
Oh yeah. Okay, maybe not then. Sorry, that'll be tough. That'll be
like
tough.
The line is
Alright.
0.5.
Okay, what else you got, Coach?
So, are you guys? I know you guys are both Bill Simmons guys. Are you aware of the Ewing theory?
A little, but
Yeah.
this is before my time.
So in
go ahead.
1999, Patrick Ewing was the best player in the NBA, but the Knicks could not win anything. And they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and he got hurt, blew out his Achilles, and everyone said, "Oh, they're done." They won 3 of the next 4 without him. Went to the finals. Of course, they didn't win. They lost to the Spurs. But so that bore this theory that maybe you're better off without your best player, especially when your best player is a superstar. And some examples of it include University of Tennessee could not win anything with Peyton Manning, and as soon as he graduated and went in the draft, they won the championship. The Boston Red Sox traded Nomar Garciaparra and then won the World
Won the
Series.
championship.
So I just want to get this out in the universe. I know that everyone watches this show, and I want this out there that I said this now. I believe there's some Ewing theory potential with my beloved Tottenham Hotspur. Harry Kane was shipped off to Germany because he wanted to go, and they are in second place right now, just 1 point behind City. They haven't lost yet. Shout out to all of my Spur fans out there: Ralph Burns, Cousin Colin,
Oh yeah, cousin Colin.
Steve Nash, Tom Holland. These are all guys that hang in my group.
Okay.
So I believe Spurs, they're definitely getting a spot in Champions League. I think they're going to lift that trophy for the first time in, 50 years. And it's going to be without Harry Kane because of the Ewing theory.
I don't know anything about soccer, but the
Football.
the Ewing theory thing, like I think to a certain point, right? Like Rudy Gobert, like if you take Gobert off, like even when he was considered, when he was not a joke, like there's guys like that. When you take them off the team, I do think they're right. Like there's stretches where I think Jaw left the Grizzlies, and there was a small stretch where they were actually better without Jaw, to a certain point. But then it's like when you get a guy like Cade on the Pistons, pretty clear that we kind of needed Cade and we weren't better without him. So I think sometimes you get some funny occurrences like that, but not often. Tal?
In professional sports, motivation is a curious thing. And people get angry and they get motivated. So I think for short periods of time, that motivation can bring them to heights that they normally would not achieve. That's all I can talk about the situation because I have no idea what you talked about with your football team.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Coach.
That's
What else
okay.
you got?
So let's talk Super Bowl. I know we just said we're not. So we're going to leave the lines out of this equation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't play in this game.
I think the Niners are going to the Super Bowl because they're that good. My dream AFC team for the Super Bowl, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. They're my AFC team, so I would say Buffalo. But my dream team to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, the New York Jets. Because if Zach Wilson takes them to the Super Bowl, what do they do with their $100 million they owe Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers?
boy.
That would be hilarious to me.
Look, did you watch the Jets game last night?
I did. He was really good.
He was great, and I was watching with my boys, and
Yeah.
we were just ready to just crap on him, like
Yeah.
waiting,
Yeah,
and
me too.
hoping.
Yeah.
And obviously the fumble's unfortunate.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, we're not rooting against him. I don't think he's a bad guy.
No.
Wilson?
I don't think Zach.
No,
Wilson's a
I'm
bad
rooting
guy.
for him.
Especially for the Rodgers
I
case here.
just if he's great.
Even if they make the playoffs,
Yeah. What do they do?
I think it confuses the New York Jets, and the media's just going to be crazy either way. I'm rooting for Wilson.
My dream. I would love to see the Dolphins in the Super Bowl.
Really?
Super entertaining.
Yeah, but
Like, I'm kinda
a
like-
Bills guy.
Look, I'll give you. I know. Okay, no Bills in this. No Bills, no Lions in this
Okay.
equation. Because obviously I want Bills Lions. That'd be cool. Thanksgiving rematch. Let's
That
do
would
it.
be cool.
But we're not going there. Dolphins. I let's say so. The Bills aren't in this equation. So give me Dolphins Chargers AFC Championship game. The Chargers remember how to play football, and Herbert fixes his hand.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And then I'm not being super realistic here, but I do really enjoy watching Miami. More so than Kansas City at this point, respectively.
Yeah.
Especially with the Swift thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that.
And they don't have any wide receivers. So.
They don't?
0. And then in the I do love the Niners. I really like Purdy. I think that's a good story.
It's a story.
I don't mind Philly. I don't love Philly. Their fans are entertaining. Like, they were booing multiple. I was kind of catching bits of the Washington. There's just lots of boos at all the time. Like, 3 and out, second drive of the game. They're just going to boo. And that's how Philly. I have a good Philly fan story. This is good.
Okay.
So, my buddy's dad, shout out the Campana family, worked for the Lions for a long time.
Yep.
And was doing equipment stuff on the sideline for a long time. And he's got obviously a lot of stories, most of which I can't say. But this one I think I can say. They were at Philadelphia, and he was on the sideline, and players and coaching staff guys were getting hit with stuff, and they didn't know what it was. Philly fans were throwing batteries at the backs of the Lions.
Oh, my God.
And my buddy said that they all brought, this was during radios, they'd bring radios to games, and they'd get pissed off, so they'd open the radio and whip batteries on the field. That's awesome. I think that's hilarious. So that's my Philly fan story. I found that out yesterday. I just thought that was so cool. But yeah, I like the Niners. Okay, what else you got?
Real quick, who's going to win the World Series?
Oh, a coach.
Braves. They're unbelievably good.
I hate the Braves. I'm an Expos guy.
They're historically good.
Yeah, I should have added that to my list. I hate the Braves as much as I hate the Yankees.
Why do you hate the Braves?
Because they beat the Expos, couldn't get in the playoffs for all those years.
Okay. Yeah, they had the best pitching staff ever.
Yeah.
Who are you rooting for, Coach?
Who am I rooting for?
Yeah.
I'll root for the Jays for Coach John because I know he's a big Jays guy.
I will also root for the Jays.
But
Isaac is not on the
Verlander's on the
at all.
Astros, so I still like. I know they cheated, but allegedly.
They cheated.
So it's either an Astros or Jays coming out of the American League, and I like Milwaukee. They got cool logo. We tried to go twice to Milwaukee. COVID got in the way, and so
Milwaukee's actually a fun place to watch a ball game.
yeah.
I think I'm probably rooting for Atlanta. I saw them in Detroit twice, and they were just talking crap around the bases, and Acuna is the coolest dude in baseball.
They are badass.
They're very cool.
They
I understand
really
if you hate them, especially this iteration of them. I totally get it. But they're just awesome and so fun to watch and incredibly disrespectful. Like Euro stepping as you get to home plate at an away ballpark. Awesome. I love it.
The one time I was able to go to an Expos game was 1995 or 96, and they were playing Atlanta. And Atlanta won 3-1 because Steve Avery, the pitcher. Yeah.
What a
Steve Avery, the
terrible
pitcher.
stadium.
It was awful. Steve Avery hit a home run to win the game. I hate Atlanta.
Oh my gosh,
So
they're
I'm
good.
not rooting for Atlanta. I'm rooting for anybody but Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Coach?
No, that's it. I know I'd like to say one thing. You guys at the end of every episode shout out to the fans. But as a fan, as a guest on the show, I want to shout out to you two guys. You've given us 100 hours of free entertainment, high quality entertainment. I look forward to it every week. Every morning I get on, I put on YouTube, and I'm like, search, nope, nothing. What are they doing? Come on, man, I need a fix. So
I will say
thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Some of my favorite texts are from Coach Rob, and it's just a picture of his living room, and on the TV, it's just my dad and I talking about garbage. And then usually one member of Coach Rob's family just like in the background doing something, walking around. And then he always gives me show notes and tells me what I did good and bad. Usually crapping on Tal's lists, which I just love.
Yep.
But Coach Rob, my guy, thank you for the texts, and thank you for coming on today. This was great.
Yeah. Shout out to the fans. I was talking to somebody today. Her son, last name is Jeffrey, is a Holy Names student.
Okay.
They're huge fans of the show. Like, I haven't seen Lauren in a long time. She's like, you guys are awesome. You're so much fun to watch. So we appreciate the shout outs. So fans, thanks for the support. Coach Rob, excellent participant today.
Thank you.
We appreciate everybody. We appreciate you. Lions, keep moving. And let's hopefully the kid gets back safe from San Fran. See ya.